What's it really like to be a bodyguard for Kim Jong-un? Imagine living in one of the world's most secretive and dangerous countries, where every day is filled with peril, fear, and constant scrutiny. North Korea, ruled by the Kim dynasty for generations, is a place where every action is watched, every word is weighed, and betrayal is punished harshly. But what if you were part of the select group tasked with guarding the very person who is the ultimate symbol of power in this oppressive regime? The leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un, is surrounded by an elite team of bodyguards. But what happens when one of them breaks their silence and exposes the truth? Lee Yong-guk, a former bodyguard who served both Kim Jong-il and Kim Jong-un, did just that. His revelations about life behind the scenes, including his escape from North Korea, provide a rare and chilling glimpse into the lengths to which the regime goes to control its people, and how brutal the life of a bodyguard can be. The elite security force, protecting the Kim dynasty at all costs. Being a bodyguard in North Korea is unlike any other security detail in the world. The Kim family's iron grip on the nation is absolute, and they spare no expense when it comes to protecting themselves. The Supreme Guard Command, a special unit created by Kim Jong-il after multiple coup attempts, is tasked with ensuring that no one gets close enough to threaten the Kim dynasty. But this force is more than just a group of highly trained soldiers. It's a symbol of the regime's commitment to control and loyalty. The Supreme Guard Command started with just 200 men, all chosen for their unwavering loyalty to the regime and their physical prowess. The recruitment process is so intense and secretive that it rivals the strictest military units worldwide. The Kim regime selects recruits from high schools across the country, where only the most physically and ideologically loyal make the cut. These bodyguards are not only expected to be in perfect physical condition, but their family backgrounds are also heavily scrutinized. If anyone in their family has shown disloyalty to the regime, the recruit is immediately rejected. The selection doesn't stop there. The candidates undergo physical tests to ensure they meet the regime's standards of perfection. No facial scars are allowed, and they must have well-proportioned bodies, symbolic of the perfection North Korea demands. It's not just about the bodyguards. The regime's control runs deep. Once selected, they are stripped of their identities. Their former lives are erased, their connections to family severed. This is a lifetime commitment, with no chance of returning to their old lives. Lee Yong-guk's shocking revelations. Lee Yong-guk's account is one of the few to emerge from the inner circle of North Korea's elite security forces. Lee, who served under both Kim Jong-il and his son Kim Jong-un, has described the brutal training and the almost inhumane conditions bodyguards endure. The training for the Supreme Guard Command isn't for the faint of heart. It's designed to turn recruits into loyal, unshakable protectors of the Kim family, no matter the cost. When Lee first joined the bodyguard team, he was one of many recruits eager to prove himself. The training, however, was unlike anything he had ever imagined. It was physically demanding, mentally exhausting, and often cruel. Bodyguards were put through a grueling 2-year program that included martial arts, marksmanship, and endurance drills. They marched 25 kilometers with full gear, practiced tech training, and underwent grueling physical feats such as smashing granite slabs with their chests and breaking bricks with their hands. For Kim Jong-il, the leader during Lee's early years, it was important to see his bodyguards performing these extreme feats of strength. Kim loved watching them demonstrate their power, even breaking bricks or performing stunts like headbutting stacks of tiles. Lee himself once broke 11 bricks in a row, a feat that earned him a scar on his right palm. While this might sound like bizarre military training, it served a purpose: to show the world, and the North Korean people, that the Kim family's security forces were tough, loyal, and invincible. But the true aim of the training wasn't just to create physically capable bodyguards. It was about fostering an unshakable loyalty to the regime. The bodyguards were made to believe that their strength and dedication were the only things standing between Kim Jong-il, Kim Jong-un, and the rest of the world. This mental conditioning was reinforced by years of propaganda, designed to make the guards see their mission as sacred. They weren't just protecting a man, they were guarding a godlike figure. Kim Jong-il and Kim Jong-un were not seen as ordinary leaders, but as divine beings whose safety was paramount. The dark side of North Korean propaganda. This blind loyalty wasn't born out of sheer devotion to the Kim family alone. It was meticulously cultivated from a young age. In North Korea, propaganda is everywhere, on television, in schools, in public spaces, and even in people's homes. The Kim family is elevated to a godlike status, and this idolization is drilled into citizens from birth. Children are taught that the Kim family holds divine power, and this belief is reinforced throughout their lives. For Lee and other bodyguards, this indoctrination became so ingrained that it was almost impossible to question. The bodyguards were taught to worship Kim Jong-il and Kim Jong-un as deities, and their lives were dedicated to protecting these figures. Lee recalls that he was taught from the very beginning that his sole purpose in life was to serve the dear leader, a title used for Kim Jong-il. To him, protecting the leader was not a job, but a sacred responsibility. But this ideological brainwashing wasn't only about instilling loyalty, it was about control. Lee and his fellow bodyguards were taught that they were part of something much bigger than themselves. They were the protectors of a divine cause. And by the time they were inducted into the bodyguard unit, they had already been exposed to years of propaganda that made it difficult for them to see anything outside the carefully controlled narrative of the regime. This made it almost impossible for the bodyguards to question the legitimacy of their mission, no matter how strange or extreme their training might have seemed. The price of failure. Serving as a bodyguard in North Korea comes with immense risks, and failure is not an option. Even the smallest mistake can have devastating consequences, not just for the bodyguard, but for their entire family. Lee Yong-guk describes how even when he did his job perfectly, he was never safe from punishment. Kim Jong-il, for example, would sometimes send people to labor camps or have them executed based solely on his mood. A bodyguard's life was constantly filled with paranoia, knowing that a single mistake could lead to a life of hardship in a labor camp. The bodyguards were expected to be flawless, to perform their duties with such precision that even a tiny slip-up could lead to fatal consequences. The stress was unimaginable, as the bodyguards lived in constant fear of making a mistake. If they failed in their duty, not only would they face punishment, but their families could also be dragged into the regime's web of retribution. For Lee, the pressure was overwhelming. He knew that even the smallest error could result in a lifetime of suffering, for both him and his loved ones. The constant fear of failure, combined with the physical and emotional toll of the job, made it impossible to escape the regime's control. The escape. Eventually, Lee Yong-guk could no longer bear the oppression and the constant threat to his life. He tried to escape twice. The first attempt landed him in one of North Korea's infamous labor camps, where he was subjected to harsh conditions. But in 2000, Lee finally succeeded in escaping the country. His journey to freedom was fraught with danger, but it also gave him the opportunity to share his story with the world. Lee's escape is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, even in the face of the most oppressive regimes. His story serves as a chilling reminder of the lengths to which North Korea's government will go to maintain control and the extreme sacrifices made by those who serve in its inner circle. The truth about Kim Jong-un. After years of silence, Lee's revelations paint a disturbing picture of life behind the scenes in North Korea. Kim Jong-un, like his father before him, is a leader who rules with absolute power. His security forces, including the elite bodyguards, are not just his protectors, they are his instruments of control,